Hello and welcome to my first video as maximiy. This is going to be a video about the 140, how it plays, what it is. I'm going to be showing you two battles, one ace and a second ace, one of them a loss and one of them a victory. Without further ado, let's get into the replay. So in this battle, we start on, I think this game's Canal. Things to know about the 140 is, of course, it's absolutely insane levels of damage per minute. It's got incredible damage per minute, it's got an incredible gun. Those are the only two things that people play the 140 for. Now, here in this beginning match, it is very important that you do not over-aggress. This tank is horrible if you over-aggress and get caught out. Now, as you can see, I'm just waiting, and boom, quick shot, retreat. Now, here I am going to wait for my camo to reset. Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. No, I shoot the 150. Because as people back up, you can still move forward. Having your gun in position early is incredibly beneficial. However, at this point, I decide I am going to try and spot where the rest of their team is, or if I can spot them. I see that the KPZ has moved over there, and boom, he misses his shell. I'm still thinking around, what do I do? Where do I go? I clearly see we are now down one tank, and I'm thinking, okay, the KPZ has dropped down. I'm going to immediately rush over there and try to get him shot at. I wouldn't have even hit him because my shell hits the wall. Nevertheless, I'm at 1,000 damage, and I have absolutely no idea what to do at this point. I don't want to rush into the heavy tanks, so I end up sniping for now. Now, the 140 is really good at this. It's got a very accurate gun. It's got very good shell velocity. It's got AP penetration. All of this is working to my advantage, and I'm loving every second of it. Now, my end goal is to shoot this BZ, and I think this BZ pisses me off just a little bit, but I thought that shell was going to miss. No, it hit. With the AC, I was kind of hoping he was facing the other way, but his gun wasn't, so the next shot goes into the tracks, and that is much more reliable. I didn't know what was covering, and of course that is bush cover. It doesn't stop a shell from flying at you, but sometimes it helps making aiming in on weak spots difficult. Now, in this game, we are currently down one tank, and everybody's kind of split up. Me and a 4005 are on this ridge, and the Foch is over there. Now, he's saying help, but if I leave my 4005 completely unprotected. There are two tanks against two tanks. It should be relatively even, and now they're even ganging up on that Jagdpanzer if they play it smart. And oh my god, look at that. The Atlas decides to poke up. Now, here I'm trying to decide what to do next, and thankfully this Atlas gives me exactly what I need. I get to shoot at the Atlas, and now the Atlas thinks he's safe, but oh, the 4005 hits him. Now, believe it or not, I actually did plan for that. I knew that after I shot, the Atlas would move out because he didn't know the 4005 was there, and so I didn't really care if I missed my shot because I knew that the 4005 would be there to kill him. So now I reposition because everybody knows I'm there, so they'll be taking care of that position, so I want to move to a new one. I spot the Jagdpanzer, and here is the shot that decided the entire game. That shot, not penetrating, decides the entire game, which makes me very sad. Now, here I'm not spotted, and there we go. Another shot that should have hit, and it just doesn't. And you will see what happens next. I am left alone against 3 enemy tanks. I am terrified. I mean, I have a lot of health, but not much else. Now, what was cool is that I was not spotted despite spotting the 60 TP. Now, that is due to the way that spotting mechanics work in this game, and it is very Cool. Essentially, your commander's hatch must make contact with a point that allows another tank to be spotted. And in this case, the 60 TP was showing me his track wheels before his commander's cupola was able to make contact with my track wheels, which means that I spot him, whereas he does not spot me, and I'm able to take him out. Now, they have control of 3 bases, and they're quickly catching up. My goal is to get rid of this E50M now. I don't know where the Jagdpanzer is. I am terrified. Now, this E50M, for some reason, just decides to give me this, but decides to shoot me at the last moment. I have no idea why he didn't shoot me earlier. It was pretty cool. And now this happens. This Jagdpanzer is rushing to get to base D because he knows that I am so close to winning this on base cap. I get behind the Jagdpanzer, and now it is a race for time. He is 963, and there we go. Another shell bounced on the Jagdpanzer, and that barely tiny, minuscule advantage gives him the win. 5 kills, 4,915 damage. Should have been a Kalabanovs. I should have won this battle, but the wargaming gods deem differently. And it ends with an ace, but nothing else. And that is how the first battle ends. So we are now on to our second battle with the 140, and this one is the victory. We are on the same exact map, the same spawn. It is time for me to redeem myself. And in this battle, I do. Now, I roughly will make the same decisions as I did last time, but let's see. And here we go. As before, I head on straight to that spotting place. I really do love that spot because it lets you shoot those who are cresting over the hill or the ones who are moving past. And here it is the STB-1. Now, notice how I do not shoot the STB. Even when I have the chance over there, I will wait until he overexposes either his side or his lower plate, and I don't shoot. Because here he exposes his side, and it is just pure dumb luck that that shell did not make contact. But right there, patience. That is an important virtue, and is for a specific reason like that. If I'd shot that STB, 1, he was aiming in on my exact spot. 2, he would have been able to penetrate me. And 3, I would not have been able to penetrate him, overall losing the trade. So I'm sitting at 0 damage, but I know the STB is there. I also know he is the only medium, and I didn't spot anybody else. I see that some of the heavies are there. I see that there's a tank destroyer there, and I make a judgment call that there is nobody there. And you'll soon be able to see that, because as soon as I see that grill, I know that the STB does not have much support. So I spot him, and this is where the moment lies. I have to brawl with that STB, and I need to somehow bait him into shooting a shell, because if I move in and try to get closer, he will shoot me, and I will lose damage, and I will miss him, and I will not deal damage, which is bad for me. So I have to bait him, allowing me to close the distance. And I will now be trying to do that with the 140's incredible armor. Well, not incredible, but it is better than, say, the Lions, just because it is troll. No, not the Lion. Sorry, Leopard. And boom, there it is. And I make my move. I immediately rush in. Now, if you'll notice, I will soon activate the adrenaline, but only after. Now, I'm capping the base in order to force him to come and meet me. And notice I do have support of a tank destroyer. So boom, we both activate our adrenaline. But I have so much more damage per minute. I have 700 more damage per minute. And there we go. I shot in twice. He shot once. I won that trade. He can no longer fight against me. The STB has to retreat, both because my tank destroyer supported and because he would never in a million of years have won that trading battle. This is an example of the 140 being an incredible tank for brawling if the circumstances are right and you've positioned yourself properly and you've thought through your actions. This is just another shell that should have hit but didn't. But there we go. Aiming in, being careful, and being proper. This time I was able to make that shell connect. Now what will happen here is me basically shooting across the map and sometimes hitting. Of course, we see that Minotauro, and if I just took a look at the mini-map, I would have known he wasn't anywhere near where I was shooting. I thought he was just behind the building, but no, he was all the way across the map, as we can see by the mini-map. But do you see the shell velocity that the 140 has? It gives it incredible capabilities when it comes to shooting at a range. And there we go, I do it again. This is something that almost no other tank other than the 140 can do. I genuinely can't name a single other vehicle that would be able to have done what I just did. And there we go, another shell into the Atlas. Now there is the 268, a dangerous Soviet tank destroyer with armor, which is troll, but his shell velocity is what gives me hope. If I can just back up enough to make him bounce the side of my turret, that is incredible. And I want to move up, but I realized that that would put me in a direct brawl with a tank destroyer that has armor, that has troll armor, and where I don't know where his other teammates are. That poses a big problem for me, because if I push without knowing all of the details, I am likely to fail. And there we go. That was the decision that saved my life. Not pushing in despite probably being able to 1v1 that 283, was it? I need to take a look at that. The Soviet tank destroyer, the AC Atlas. Now I am in a predicament. The AC Atlas is there. He wants to shoot me. Now I am going to bait him because he has the 3 shotgun. And whether you know it or not, the 140 actually has a good upper plate if you use it right. Here we go. And boom, I switch to my high explosive and anti-tank shells. I use heat to cut through, aiming on the lower plate, and I am minimizing the amount of damage that Atlas can do. Now here, I get shot by the STB. That blind shot hits, and again, that just speaks to the capabilities of the 140 when it comes to long-range attacks. I decide I'm going to flank. Because if I'd stayed there, if I didn't hit the STB, he would just continue shooting me and eventually take me out of the game, because my attention would have been divided on the AC Atlas and the Soviet tank destroyer and the other thing. Now here is another shot that just screws me over. I hit the side, and here I have help from my Grill 15, who clears the 268, and now I am just bing chilling. I am hitting this AC Atlas. I've made him miss his shells. I've shot him again, and the Grill 15 helps me. And there we go. That's the game. 4,958 damage. Actually more, because I hit the STB one. And there we go. A splendid victory. Not a single tank destroyed, but lots and lots of damage. And this gives me exactly what I need. An ace game, lots of damage, lots of credits, and redemption. With that, the video ends. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.